Hey YouTube and Facebook family and friends. I am going to attempt my first Care Bear type loom knit bear. I've loom knitted many bears, but I want to try to shape this one more like a Care Bear shape, but not the Care Bear. I am going to do a stoner bear. I have lots of people and friends who've tagged me in the stoner bear, so I'm going to attempt my version of the stoner bear. I'm going to use a 24 peg loom. Today I'm going to use the Flexi Loom regular 24 pegs. I put a stitch marker on the first peg because, as you know, Flexi Looms do not have a I lost my words. Anchor peg. There it is. There's the anchor peg. Some of you that have watched other videos may have heard me try to explain why I lose my words, and I get brain fog real easy. I am working on gluten-free diet to get all my things, my body right. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to happen, I forget words out of the blue. They just disappear. Anyway, you'll need a 24 peg loom, a hook, scissors, a needle, and I usually have a metal needle, but I have seemed to lost them. I've got some coming on order. I'm going to use this green from Dollar Tree, I believe. Yeah, it's Dollar Tree. The Premier Just Yarn. Oh, there went my other phone. It's a medium 4 in the color Forest. That's going to be my head and body, basically. And I have yet to make one of these, so bear with me. Haha, bear, funny. Anyway, so we're going to make a slip knot. Are we going to make a slip knot? On the Flexi Loom, I don't usually make a slip knot. I usually just lay it in there behind the first peg because we're going to do a drawstring cast on. So I just lay it there and weave it in and out like you do a drawstring cast on. In front and back, the zigzag pattern. In and out all of the pegs till you're back at the front. And then you're going to lay, just going to go behind again, and you're going to lay this across your pegs, and you're going to take every peg that has 2 strands bottom over the top. I'm going to give that first one a tug because it's the loosest from the first peg. Bottom over the top, bottom over the top, and you're going to do this all the way around. Not too tight. Bottom over the top. Bottom over the top. Bottom over the top. I think I'm gonna do more than one bear if I can figure out the pattern and I like it. Like a bear with a mushroom on the tummy and just different things that aren't actual Care Bear patterns. Not trying to have copyright anything. I just like to make things for fun. Okay. And gifts. So we're back in front of the first peg. It's still going to be our first peg, but we're just going to lay in front of it. Go to the second peg. U-wrap knit and bottom over the top. I love the U-wrap knit. I use it a lot. I feel like it's a perfect tension for a lot of things that I make. Okay, so since this is my first time and my first time videoing this, I think I'm gonna let y'all go for a sec. And I'm going to U-wrap knit. And I'm thinking I'm gonna come back and tell you how many rows. Alright guys, I'll be back in a short. Okay, so it's been a little bit, but for you, just a little second or less. So I have done 38 rows. So this will be the body and the head of the little guy. And while I was doing this, I was thinking, depending on how this turns out, maybe I will make another, but more pegs. So it's a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit rounder. But for now, this is 24. So he's going to be a little mini, just like all my other little stuffies are. And this is 38 rows of U-wrap knit stitch. So now we're going to take it off. So you want to... No, I want to go the other way. I want to back up. Guess I'm going to have to move my phone. You want to take the working yarn and wrap it around your loom, at least a little over from the first peg. And then I'm just going to take my hook and run it through. Where is my hook? It ran away. There it is. Run it up through every peg. Or you can put your needle on the yarn and run it through with your needle. So I'm just picking it up underneath, pulling it through. And you can do this all the way around, or you can go back to the first peg and you can start taking it off. Sometimes if you cut the yarn too short, this helps because you can pull on it as you go. A little bit. I don't think I need to do that. I think I cut enough. But that's just a trick if you need it. Accidentally cutting it too short. Once you get the hang of looming, you can cut it too short and do it that way. It'll save on yarn, sorta. Well, you know, a little bit anyway. So you can pull it as you go. And it will move the flexi. Flexies move. Alright, I'm going to get this off. So we're off the loom. This was the cast on where the drawstring is and where I'll make the head. Of the little guy. Sorry, that's my phone. So I think I'm going to use safety eyes on him. But so stretch your stitches. Stretch them out, stretch them out, stretch them out. And I'm going to start with this top of his head, I think. I want to stuff it and like shape his head, but I also want to put the eyes on. So I want to figure out where I'm going to have the body and the head. So I'm going to stuff it without closing it all the way. But I am going to close the top first. And I won't close the bottom till I have the eyes on, I guess. I don't know if that's backwards, but I'm going to put it inside out. And we're going to take our needle and get it on the, thread it through. And then we're going to go through the loops on the inside of the circle here. See all these little loop-de-doos? All these. And you're going to go through those. It's so much easier with a metal needle, let me tell you. See? These. Metal needle glides right through these suckers. So we're going to go through these all the way around. And it's okay if you skip a few. It'll just help make the hole smaller. Tug a little as you go. Way easier with a metal needle. Way easier. I suggest everyone get metal needles. I usually try to go around like twice. Pretty closed up now. Give it a tug. Go find one more. And then I'm going to knot it. You can knot it twice if you want. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm just going to leave this excess yarn inside and put us right back to the right side. And now I'm going to put some stuffing in them. Just a little for now. Trying to just shape the head. get an idea where I'm gonna put the eyes. And I want enough stuffing in there that I can kind of shape the head more so Care Bear like than just a circle. Like I did with my turtles. We want little cheekies. And a little area for the nose. So we don't want it totally round. Just play with it a bit. And I do want the head rounder than the Ninja Turtle I made. I want enough stuffing in there that I can play with it and shape. See, kind of. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna go get some safety eyes and I'll be back. Alright, so I've got them pretty stuffed. And I haven't closed the bottom yet. So I just want to make sure that's how I want them. Pretty stuffed in there. We're gonna be adding a nose here with the little heart on it. So these cheekies will be pulled out. I'll play with that for a while. I'm gonna get a piece of well, actually, I guess I can close this off and use this string to separate the head from the body. So I'm gonna thread my needle and do like I did the top and go around the bottom. We want to be able to sit on his bottom. So that's why I push on it to flatten it a bit. So we're gonna go in here and pick up the little loop-de-doos around the hole. It's hard for me to see this far away from being in front of the camera and trying to make sure I stay in view, even though you should know how to do this by now, especially if you watch other YouTubers make animals. Come on, man. I'm just missing my metal needles. I can't explain enough how much easier metal needles are to do this. My hole's already pretty much closed, so I'm just gonna pick up what I can. Around once at least. And then pick another one and make a knot. Fun, fell off my needle. That's okay. No, it's not, because it just pulled it out of the hole. Ain't it lovely to make mistakes on camera? Let's try that again. And make a knot. Okay, and I'm gonna go up through the body and out the back end. And then we're going to cut that excess. And then we're going to use it to tie off his head from his little body. Like so. Go to the back. it to be too pulled. I want it to still look separated, but not too tiny between the head and the body. I'm going to knot it again back there. Twice. And then I think I'll just feed these through the body with my needle, one at a time. Come in here and come out down here somewhere. Do that with this one too. Well, maybe I'm coming out the head. Either way, it don't matter. You're just gonna cut the extra bit off and it'll go back inside the body part, the head or the body, whichever way you went. Give a little squeeze and it'll poke back inside. You don't even know they're there. Alright. So far, kind of resembling my turtle, but get that piece off of me. Okay. I did put a lot of stuff in him. I do a lot of little minis with no legs. My Pennywise and my Ninja Turtles that you've seen on YouTube so far. No legs. I do have ones with legs. I just haven't showed y'all on YouTube yet. They are on my Facebook art page at Crafty Arts m.gore on Facebook. But now I need to figure out, I want to work on his little things we're going to add to his body and his face and his ears before I do arms and decide if I'm giving him legs. So I need to go write down some stuff and try a few things out, and then I will come back and show you what I come up with. So he's a stoner bear, and I wanted to give some depth to his eyes and make it sink in a bit. So I'm giving him a little red to each eye by just pushing it through both ends and giving it a tug back here. So we'll do it on this side too. So I'm going to go in right here. Maybe a little bit more over right here. And just push him through. A little to the back. Go front to get the other end. Needle. And then go up here on his eye a little ways. Poke that end through to the back. Get it off the needle. Take the two strings. We kind of lost that one, didn't we? Tugged it too much, I guess. Just bring it back out. Pull the bottom one a little bit. Just a little bit pop of red for little high eyes. Little stoner eyes. Then I'm going, sorry, my husband is helping me with laundry, bringing it up from the basement, and he's kind of noisy. But I'm gonna clip these off now. And give it a little squeeze and they'll pop right back in, see? And so there we have that now. Then I decided he needs the little stony looking eye, so he needed a little eyelid. So I just sewed that in, like I did the little red eye part. Show you on this side. Same way I did the red. You pull it through the back. Get my needle. Thread a piece of yarn the same color as the bear. And then we're gonna see it's like a little bit away from the red. So we'll go right here and we'll pull through to the back of the head. And then we'll come back and get our front piece and thread that. And then we'll go right about, I'd say right about here. As close to the eye as you can get. And push that through. And there you have, see, there is a little eyelid. Cute. It's perfect. Okay, then we're going to cut those off and give the head a squeeze so it takes them back inside the head. Like magic. Okay. There we go. Now he has his little eyes. So it's not standing up very well. He might have to have legs. Okay, and now his little snout. I've crocheted snouts. Couldn't tell you how I did it because I'm not a crocheter per se. Just like I said before, I make chains and then I do the single or double crochets and make it go into the shapes I want to make them. I can't explain how I do it, if I do it right or if I do it wrong, but it always seems to work out. So if you have any crochet tips or know-hows, please leave a comment, or just go work it out for yourself and make him a little snout. I'm gonna go fiddle with a couple things. I might be able to do it on a loom, so we'll see. And I'll be probably a while, but to you only a sec. So to make the snout, we're going to drawstring cast on a 12 peg loom. You could use a flower loom. I made one out of the flexi. So you weave in and out for the cast on. Every peg that has two bottom over the top. on those pegs. And then when you get back to the first one, I'm going to go behind it, and then I'm going to U-wrap knit 4 rows. Half wrap, knit over is the U-wrap knit stitch. Half wrap, knit over, half wrap, knit over, and you're going to do 4 rows of that. Okay, I'm coming to start the 3rd row. I pulled this as I went. Now I'm going to bring that drawstring, cast on string inside and do row 3 and row 4. U-wrap knit, half wrap, knit over, half wrap, knit over. Okay, so this is row 3. I'll see you in a sec after I get to row 4 done. Now we need to do the basic bind off. So we're back to row 1 and row 2. And we're going to knit off those 2. Number 1 and number 2. And then you take 2 off and bring it back to number 1 and knit over. Then you take the 1 off and bring it over to number 2, the empty peg, and pull tight. Then you continue the next peg, you knit over, bring that off that peg and back over to the first peg and knit that off, and then you take it off that peg and bring it over to the next peg and knit off the next peg, take the new loop off, bring it back over to the before peg, not the following peg, the peg before, and knit it off, put that loop back on the other peg, and that's the basic bind off, and you keep going till the end. Okay, so you keep going. Okay, I'm on the last peg. So I already brought that one over there, did that, brought it back over here. So now I'm gonna do the last one. And then I go around one more time. And then I make a tail. This is the tail we will use to sew it on the face, so kind of give you enough tail to do that. Probably about, I don't know, 8 or so inches. Then I'm gonna pull that off. Take it out of there. There's one of my hairs. Okay. So the drawstring cast on, we will pull that. I usually pull it before I take it off. Oh wait, did I not do a drawstring? Yeah, I did. Okay, there we go. Just wasn't pulling for some reason. I usually pull it on the loom. So we're gonna tuck that inside. So there we have our snout. I'm going to shape it up a bit with my needle. For the center one, I'm gonna put it inside the nose. Maybe not, maybe I wanna kind of tuck this little bit in here. There we go. So I guess I'll just go around once. We are gonna use the front of this nose to put the little shape of the heart sort of nose on. I'm gonna sort of embroider it on. And I don't want to close up the hole too tight because we need to use that hole. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of these little loops, and then I'm gonna pull it back through the middle into the back side of the snout like this, and we're gonna call that one good, and we're gonna clip it. You can leave a little bit, it'll just tuck inside the nose or the snout, whatever. So then the other one we'll put on our needle, the outside edge one, just to give it a little bit of close up sort of. So I'm gonna go through this little loop here. You can't see, can you? Go through that loop and it'll close it off on the edge here, like so. So you can squish it down. We don't want it too tall on the edge here. So I only did 4 knit rounds. I'm going to go back through here and make one more knot. Okay, then we're going to leave this on here so we can sew it to the face. Like so. Alright. Then I took and got a piece of the body color green. Fairly long piece. Just didn't know how much I would need. How many times I was going to go in and out for this shape right here. So I'm going to say this is like the bottom. So we want to put it on like right here. Sort of a heart kind of shape. So I'm going to come from the inside and the back and through the middle. I'm going to leave a little tail so I can knot it when I'm done. And I worked from the bottom and I went up. So I'm going to go probably about here to make the first line. I not even in the camera. Not watching. Gotta sneeze. Sorry. Okay. And then we want the next one to just be a tiny bit longer. So we're going to come back up through the middle. Bless you, Peanut. It's my chihuahua. And then we're going to go a little tad higher than the... I thought I saw another one in my hair. I just got out the shower. Tad higher than the other one that we already did. And again, I'm out of camera. I want a tad higher. See. Ugh, I feel like I need to redo this. Okay. And we're going to come back in the middle. And we're going to do another little bit of a short. And I'm getting tangled. All right. Perfect. This is a horrible setup here. So we're going to come down a little bit for the next one. And there's one side. And I do the same on the other side. You want to kind of put it above the last one you did so it will sit right. I'll go a little bit longer for this one. Then
what are you doing, man?
Go back in the middle for the last little bit. Sort of going heart shaped. And we're gonna come back up through the middle one more time. And I'm gonna go down one little bump here and back up through the middle. Jeez. I'm not on camera very much for this, am I? And then I decided to do this little side mouth. So you can go right back in with the same yarn. Gonna squish this down. And then I'm going to come in here. I think this is a little bit lower than the one I did before. But it's okay, because I just did it to show you guys. I mean, obviously I'm going to make another bear, but come in wherever you think it's this good spot. And you can make any kind of mouth. That one's side mouth, but so I'm going to come right about here and go back through. And then I'm going to skip and go down a ways. Like over here. And come through. And then I'm going to go back over here to the same hole. Was not on camera for any of that. Sucking at this right now. Sucking. Anyway, just embroider the little shapes. I'm sure y'all are smart enough to figure it out. And there's a little mouth on that one. So, there we go. That's how I made the snout. On a loom. And not with a crochet hook. Alright. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put his belly on. Or how I'm going to make it work. So this is my first attempt. I figured I'd record while I'm semi in a quiet area. And for all the guys get up and moving around. And so I drawstring cast on the 12 pegs that I made his snout on. And then I U-wrap knit 6 rows. And I pulled the drawstring to see how the belly was looking. And I did a basic bind off with the nose, which let it turn into this shape when I pulled the string. So I don't want that for the belly. I want it kind of flat. So I don't know if you watched my Ninja Turtle, but that's how I'm going to take this off, is with a crochet cast off with 1 chain between each peg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the working peg and put it on a crochet hook. Take it off, bring it over to the center of the other 2, give it a little tug, and then I'm going to make 1 chain in between the 2 pegs. And then I'm going to go to the next one and pull that off with my crochet hook. And then we're going to put that through that last chain we made. And then we're going to come back between the next 2 pegs. I need this on the outside, my working yarn. Okay, then we come back between the next 2 pegs and we make another chain. So in between every peg we make a chain. So I made my chain. I'm going to go get my next loop off the next peg, pull it through that chain, then bring it over between the, come on, don't get stuck. Bring your working yarn and that loop over to the between the next 2 pegs, make another chain, so little it's hard to work with and be on camera. No, he fell off my table. I have to get him. Hook the next loop of the next peg, take it off, pull it through the last chain, go between the pegs, make a chain, boom. And you keep doing that all the way till you get it all off the loom. Oops, sorry. Alright, so I took it off all the way. And this is what you can shape it, kind of. You're going to have to, it's going to go off kind of bully shaped. But that's okay. Maybe we should have did 2 chains in between. But sometimes I think that looks a little loose, so we just did 1 chain this time. But if you want to try 2 chains, it might be a little different. Maybe even a little bit bigger. But I think this is perfect for him for now, for my first go. And I pulled both the strings. This one I'm going to feed through the back and probably knot back here and then clip off the excess. And then I'm going to use this one to sew the belly on. But before I do that, I want to put a little leaf on his belly for his, sort of Care Bear emblem, but he's not a Care Bear, he's a Re-Bear. Anyway, there's a lot of these bears on the internet. When you go look at pictures, they're usually all crochet. I think there's even some with those little rubber bands. I wanted to make one with a loom and more in the shape of the Care Bear traditional shape than rather just a circle bear head, just kind of make it look a little more Care Bearish, but not. Just a resemblance. He's a tiny guy. He's so cute. I'm in love with him already. But, okay. Here come the sirens today. So we're gonna just do like we did the nose. And we're gonna just kind of, sew in the leaf shape. And I'm gonna get that going and I'll be back. Alright, and so since he's so tiny, and his belly's so tiny, I don't think I'm going to do like a very big leaf. And I did get my needles in the mail from Temu. I love Temu. I love a good deal. And it came with many. And so this is probably why I can't find the other set, because it's in this little convenient thing here that I probably put somewhere I was supposed to remember where I put it, and I don't. But anyways, I'm going to keep this one in the bag I'm using now, and I'm going to keep this needle for as long as possible because I prefer the metal needles. They're so much easier to work with. Okay, so a leaf, the kind I'm talking about, for Mr. Stoney Bear. We're gonna start with the little stem, and we're gonna come over here through the back, and I'm gonna leave a little tail back here. I don't know why, maybe to knot it later, but anyway, it's kind of like embroidery sort of, but I'm not an embroiderer, but you're just gonna make your shape. So we want a little stemmy end, I guess. And my father is awake, so you might be hearing his music. I think I'm gonna go in a lot through the middle, probably. We're gonna see how this turns out. I'm just winging it, so you can just wing it too. Maybe you'll come up with an easier, better way. I don't know. But, okay. So we're gonna just, come back up through here and go like this way. And then, oh my God, it's so loud. Guess we're gonna try to make it like a leafy, kind of like the nose. Like we're making a leaf, but you know, that was the nose up there, but we want the edges to be a little shorter than the middle of it. So this is my first leaf here, I suppose. I don't want it to look like a shamrock. And then like a longer, taller one for the top. So I'm going to come up here a little bit taller than that one, I guess. And then connect down here. And then go back up through this side. And back down. And then, if you can hear that, my dad's music, I do not own the rights to any of that. I do not know. And then come back up on this side. Go back down. Sometimes I think maybe I should have used embroidery floss for this. Oh, did I? Okay. Might have been, you know, like a tighter leaf. Then we're going to come over here for this side. Just came off my needle. And that one's a little short, so we're going to make the next one the longer one. Getting a little tight in there. Let me see. Maybe we'll just go right there. This better turn out. Just don't want it to look like a shamrock. Come on, stony bear leaf. Look like leaf. That, you know, that kind of leaf. Okay. We need two little ones down here. So maybe we'll just do one time. Boom. Go back in there. Maybe these two need to be more pointed that way. Maybe I just add another little ones up here. See what it looks like. A little bit better, I guess. Anyways, you just fool around with it. And you can, I'm sure eventually I'll make up your own leaf. Or whatever else you'd rather put on the belly. Maybe you're not even making a green stony bear. Maybe you're making an actual Care Bear with a sunshine belly. Or, use your imagination. But that's what I got for this one this time. We'll work on that and try to figure that out better. But that's good for now. I'm gonna roll with it. Come back here and knot this once. And then I'm just gonna trim it. And then we'll just sew it to the bear with the white piece and our needle like we did the snout, only on the belly. And you can do that without watching me do it. And I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so I think this is a cute arm. Sorry. Okay, spring has sprung. So, to do this arm, I'm going to show you. I did a drawstring cast on. And we're back at the first peg. Going to go behind it. We're going to U-wrap knit 10 pegs for 5 rows. So a U-wrap is a half wrap and knit over. Because there's no anchor peg, this is loose, so I just tug on it a bit when I notice it. So for 5 rows, you're going to U-wrap knit. And then I'll show you what's next. Alright, I got my 5 U-wrap knits on my 10 peg loom. So I turned the 12 peg that we made these on into a 10 peg to make these arms. So, I guess you could say I made up my own arm. Well, you can say that because that's what I did. Anyways, I'm going to grab the drawstring cast on string and bring it in the middle and pull it down, and I'm going to pull on it, and there we have the end of the arm, so to speak. Now I'm going to decrease, and I've seen it done many ways. Most of the time I just take the first peg's loop off and bring it to the second peg. Can't do it on camera, it's hard. Such a tiny loom. Okay, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna do the last peg and put it on the one before it. And now for row 6, I'm gonna U-wrap knit row 6 through 10 in the flat, meaning not in a circle anymore because we've removed 2 of the loops. So now we're working in the flat, back and forth. So row 6, is U-wrap knit these 2 over the 1 on the first peg after the decrease. Then U-wrap all the rest, including the last peg that also has 2 loops on it now. You'll knit the 2 over the 1. So this is row 6. 2 loops over the 1. And now we'll turn around on this same peg. Row 7 is U-wrap knit. I'm not skipping pegs. You're going to wrap the first and last pegs too. This is row 7. Wrap all 7's pegs. And we're going to do this till row 10. And I'll see you back. Alright, we're at row 10. And we're going to decrease one more time. Same way as before. Peg off the peg, or loop off the peg, bring it over to the other peg on both ends. And now we're going to U-wrap knit for rows 11 and 12. And then we're going to drawstring cast off. So, U-wrap knit row 11. So I kind of don't like the fact that flexi looms are flexi. I'm just not comfortable with it yet. Don't like them moving on me. But I do appreciate being able to make different size looms. I used to have the Martha Stewart set where you could make all different size ones, but they weren't as small as these. I have it still, it's just strewn all over the place. I don't know where all the pieces are, somewhere in this house. Okay, row 12, come back and loom, U-wrap knit. I guess that's kind of a flat knit sometimes. It's so small, this thing. Okay. It'll be fine because they're drawstring casting off anyways. Be able to stretch the stuff. So we want to leave a little tail too because we're going to use this end to attach it to the body. And we want a tail in the beginning too because we're going to use the beginning tail to sew up the arm because we're going to stuff it a little bit. I don't always stuff arms, but I'm going to stuff this one. I want it to have a nice shape. And you don't have to. I just want the thickness, the little feel of it. So then I'm going to just take that yarn and lay it over, or lay it under we're going to bring it through every peg, up through every peg. This is our cast off. And that is it. Then you can take it off your loom. Pretty simple, I think. And then we're going to stretch our stitches, even these short little ones here. Always stretch the stitches. And pull on the drawstrings. Stretch your stitches out too. See how it has this opening now back here? That we're gonna put some stuffing in here. Well, first we're gonna close up the bottom, the hand end. So we're gonna put our needle on here. And then we're going to I'm going to make it go through 2 of these. And then I'm going to go through the middle and bring it on the inside. And then we're going to give it a little stuff. I'm going to bring it up through here. The last stitch at the tip where we decreased, the little stitch in there, in between it, and bring it up there. And now I'm going to put a tiny bit of stuffing in here. Not much at all, just a tiny little ball. Don't need much. Just really want that end of the arm to be fluff. A little fluff. A little fluff never hurt nobody. I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. Okay. Now we're going to sew it up. And you want to try to do like where all the V's come together. So we're going to get this V and this V. Well, this loop and this loop, and they make a V when they come together. And we're going to go back and forth. As best we can. To align the V's or stitches on each side together. The ones that come together and make the little V. And then we're going to put a knot, pull, and then we're going to come back through and in and out the hand. And then we're just going to clip it off. Squish it so the tip will go back into the bear's self. And then we will use these ends to sew the arms on. So you'll just find the right spot you want them on and sew them on. And then we'll be back to do the ears. And I don't know if I said it before, but my thing with these little mini plushies that I make, like if you've been on my YouTube, there's Pennywise and I think the Ninja Turtles so far on there. And then I think my banner is South Park. I love them without legs. I think they're just so much cuter without legs for some reason. It's my thing. So I don't think I'm going to make him legs either. I like it without legs. I mean, essentially, in life, the bear would have legs, but we'll just pretend they're there because I think he's so cute. Wait till the ears and the arms are on. Adorable. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. I had to fix the belly. It was bugging me too much. That's much better. Okay, let me go figure out what ears I'm doing. Alright, so I went to my go-to for tiny bear ears, which is by loomknit. I did the outside, the green part was loomknit's ear, which is cast on 5 pegs with a drawstring cast on. See if this scrap's big enough for an ear. It might be. So drawstring cast on. If you have an anchor peg, go ahead and use it, or I'm just draping it around the first peg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're working in the flat, so we're going to turn around on 5. Come back across. Every peg with 2 strands, you're going to knit over. And now for row 1, we're going to U-knit. Skip the first one for now. And U-wrap knit for 4 pegs. That's row 1. Now for row 2. And she may do hers different. This is what I remember. She might skip the first pegs. I'm not going to anymore. I'm going to U-wrap knit every peg for the next 4 rows back and forth. So this is row 2. This is for the outer part of the ear. And you can go watch her video, Denise with loomknit, Tiny Bear, and fast forward to the ears. Okay, row 3, I'm going to wrap the first peg again. I'm not skipping any pegs. Now, row 4, back the other way. row 5, our last row. Now we're going to drawstring cast off, leaving a little tail so we can sew it to the head a bit. We will be pulling on these too, so it will give more string. So that little scrap was the perfect size for this ear. Now we're going to pull the drawstring cast off from the bottom up to through the top. On all the pegs so that we can remove them from the pegs and pull and shape the ear, the outer ear. I don't know that Denise shows an inner ear, but I'm going to do an inner ear, the white part, which granted it could have been smaller, but this is our first, well, my first Care Bear type bear, and like I always say, I make it up as I go. I never really have, I just kind of go with the flow and figure things out as I go, which yes, doesn't make it very easy to make videos because I'm learning as I'm teaching you some stuff, like the white inner ear that I'm about to show you. So this is shaped, you stretch your stitches and everything, and then you pull the 2 strings, and there you have a shape of an ear for a tiny bear. Cute. Now I want the white part for the inner ear. So what I did was took some white. Where is it? Right here. And I drawstring cast on 3 pegs. Just 3. 1, 2, 3. So I come back across and all we have is 1 peg with 2 strands, so over the top, and that's your cast on. Now for row 1, I just U-wrap knit the 2 pegs, and now I'm going to do the row 2. It's only a total of 3 rows. U-wrap. So here's row 2, and we're going to do all 3 pegs. And now row 3, all 3 pegs. I probably could have just done 2, but we're going to make it the same as the other ear, so we're doing 3. And now drawstring cast off, leave enough yarn to pull and be able to connect it to the outer ear. And now we'll remove it and move that string behind, just like we did the other part of the ear. This is just a bit smaller. Could have probably done this easier with a crochet hook, but I wanted to do all parts on the loom this time. So it don't look like much, just a little squiggle. But I'm gonna pull the strings And see, we got a little tinier ear, basically. Stretch it a bit. Pull the string some more, just kind of shape it. So it's a little tiny inner ear. And then we're going to put it inside the other ear. And I just took these ends here and I kind of tried to sew it on the inner ear where it doesn't poke through the back. Just right there, like pick up those little stitches and just kind of get the ear to stay enough inside of it. So I'm gonna put it on my hook. I'm gonna come back here and grab a stitch that's not showing on the other side. Pull it through there and then come through the white back here. We're just trying to keep it attached to this other ear so it don't fall out. To pick up another little stitch back here and go through the white somewhere. So that should be enough to keep it stuck in there. Maybe one more. Not perfect, it's just whatever. We're just trying to make it stay and look good. So I'm going to put a knot right there. And I'm going to play with it to shape it back up. And then I am going to pull it through the back of the ear. And we'll clip that off later. And we got to reshape some of these things. I'm just going to pull that other white one right back through. And we'll clip that one later too. When you don't think your things you make are going to be toys and they're just like someone's little, oh cool, collectible, buy yay, put it on a shelf, keep it pretty and nice, don't let the kids play with it, then, you know, you don't have to be too fussy about how tight these are on. If it's going to be a toy, yeah, you might want to knot it somewhere a couple times, but I doubt this weed bear is going to be somebody's toy. Seems how it's a weed bear. Or a, I don't even know, Smokey the Bear. His name is Smokey. My friend said, oh, you made a Carowana bear. It was funny. So anyway, yeah. The state I'm from, it's legal. So a lot of people have been asking me to make these bears for them. And now I have. So maybe if you're watching, you want to get a hold of me. Okay. I think this ear looks a little bigger somehow. Not as tight and tiny right there. But here we go. And we just take our green ends and sew it on. So get it in the right spot and sew it on. I'll be back. And there we go, folks. There's Stoney the bear. I am going to make some more, like a set with different things on the bellies. But my husband, I was like, what should I do for my next video on YouTube, babe? And he is like, a Care Bear. And I'm like, okay. And I've had a lot of people tag me in a crocheted stoned bear. And I always wanted to try to make one. So, here we go. Isn't he so adorable? Thanks for watching. If you're still here, thanks for joining me to make this bear, the first one of many. And have a good Easter. And thanks for being on my page, on my channel. I hope I get better, and I hope I can get bigger, and I hope my voice can get stronger and I can get used to this. But enjoy your bears and happy Easter. Bye.